Hi, mathematicians. Yesterday, we talked about how we can divide 2D shapes into equal parts. Today, we're going to talk a little bit more about those equal parts inside of those 2D shapes and what they're called. And we're also going to learn how we can take a whole 2D shape and divide it into equal parts. Let me show you what I mean. All right, friends, so today we're going to show equal parts of a whole 2D shape. We can draw to show equal parts of a whole 2D shape. When we're drawing lines inside of 2D shapes to divide them into parts, we have to make sure that the parts are equal. That's the most important thing. We have to make sure that the parts are equal. Let me show you what I mean. In this first rectangle, if I draw an up and down line and a side to side line, I made 4 parts inside the whole shape. And each part is the same shape and each part is the same size. That means they are equal. That shows fourths. 4 equal parts shows fourths. Now in this rectangle, if I make an up and down line and then I make a side to side line like that, I made 4 parts, but they are not equal. This part and this part is not the same shape or the same size. Even though this and this is the same, and this is the same, all the parts have to be equal, not just 2 of them. All of them have to be equal. So this does not show fourths. This can't be fourths because the parts are not equal. So when we're drawing lines inside of the whole 2D shape to make parts, the parts have to be equal. Let's explore some more. Remember, yesterday we learned that the total number of equal parts inside of a whole shape names the parts. So if there are 2 equal parts, like in this triangle, the 2 equal parts are called halves. If we have 3 equal parts, like in the middle rectangle, the parts are called thirds. And if we have 4 equal parts, like in this circle, 4 equal parts are called fourths. So if we know that 2 equal parts makes halves, and 3 equal parts makes thirds, and 4 equal parts makes fourths, then we can divide a whole shape into parts if we know the word halves, thirds, or fourths. Let me show you what I mean. Halves is 2 equal parts. So to divide any shape into halves, we have to draw lines to divide the shape into 2 equal parts. So here are 3 squares. I'm going to show you 3 different ways that we can divide these squares into halves or 2 equal parts. I can make a side to side line or a horizontal line, and that breaks the shape into 2 equal parts or 2 halves. I can make an up and down or vertical line, which also makes 2 equal parts or 2 halves. Or I can make a diagonal line, because if I make a diagonal line, I also get 2 equal parts that are the same shape and the same size. I also get 2 halves. So as you can see, there are many different ways to show halves inside of a whole shape. Let's explore thirds. Thirds are 3 equal parts. So if we want to divide any whole shape into thirds, we have to divide it into 3 equal parts. So let me show you some ways we can do that. In this first square, I'm going to make 2 side to side or horizontal lines. That makes 3 equal parts or 3 thirds. 1/3, 2/3, 3/3. There are 3 thirds here in the square. Or I can make 2 vertical up and down lines. That also makes 3 equal parts or 3 thirds. Triangles are a little tricky because if I were to make an up and down line here and another up and down line here, they wouldn't be the same size and they wouldn't be the same shape. They would not be equal. So in a triangle, I have to start at the top vertex and make a line down to the middle. Then I go to the next vertex and make a line to the middle. And then the last vertex and make a line to the middle. that guarantees that our three parts are equal, that they're the same shape and then they're same size. So again, there are many different ways to show thirds in a whole shape. Let's explore fourths. Fourths is 4 equal parts. So to divide a whole shape into fourths, we have to make 4 equal parts. Remember, the parts have to be equal. That's the most important thing. So let me show you a few ways that we can make fourths. One way is we can make a window where we draw one horizontal line and one vertical line to divide this shape into 4 equal parts, or fourths. We can also make all vertical lines that go up and down. We still again have made 4 equal parts, or fourths. In this, we could also make lines that go horizontal, just all horizontal lines, but I didn't show that way here. You could do that though. And in the circle, we can't make all horizontal lines or all vertical lines because again, those parts wouldn't be equal. They wouldn't be the same shape and they wouldn't be the same size. Go ahead, draw a circle and try making horizontal or all vertical lines. They're not going to be equal. So the only way to do it inside of a circle is to make that window inside there again, to make one vertical line and one horizontal line. That way we are guaranteed to have 4 equal parts, or fourths, okay? So again, there are many different ways to show fourths in a whole shape. Let's practice drawing to show equal parts. Draw to show thirds. Right away, thirds, 3 equal parts. So in this first rectangle, I can do vertical lines. In the second rectangle, I can draw horizontal lines. So we can draw vertical lines to show thirds, or we can draw horizontal lines to show thirds. Either way, it's 3 equal parts, so it's thirds. Okay. Draw to show halves. We can draw vertical lines to show 2 equal parts, or halves, because remember, halves is 2 equal parts. So we can draw vertical lines to draw halves, or we can draw a horizontal line to show halves. Either way, it's 2 equal parts, or halves. Draw to show fourths. I can make a vertical line and a horizontal line to make a window, 4 equal parts, or fourths. Or I can make all horizontal lines, which also shows fourths. So we can draw vertical and horizontal lines, or all horizontal lines, or all vertical lines. Either way, if we have 4 equal parts, that shows fourths. Draw to show thirds. So circles are tricky because if we drew all vertical lines or all horizontal lines, it wouldn't be equal. The parts would not be equal. We might get 3 parts, but the parts have to be equal. They have to be the same shape and the same size. So the only way to draw thirds in a circle is do the same thing we did in the triangle, which means we have to start at the top and go to the middle, and then kind of go to where a point would be if this was a triangle, and then go to the middle, and then kind of go over to the left side and make a line to the middle. Then we have to look at our parts. Do they look like the same size and the same shape? Do they look equal? Do I have 3 of them because we need 3 parts to show thirds? Yeah, these 3 parts look like the same shape and the same size, so they're equal. So we can draw vertical and diagonal lines to show thirds in a circle. Challenge alert! Woo woo! Challenge time. Here's a challenge question for you. Does this shape show thirds? Look and think about this really, really carefully. Try to answer it on your own. Does this shape show thirds? Pause the video and think about it. If you think it does show thirds, explain why. Why is this thirds? And if you don't think it shows thirds, explain why. Why doesn't it show thirds? Pause the video and think about your answer now. All right, friends. So what do you think? Thirds or not thirds? That's right. Nope. This does not show thirds. There are 3 parts inside. That's true. 1, 2, 3. There are 3 parts in the whole shape, but the parts are not equal. These 2 parts are equal, but this one is not the same as these 2 parts. So it can't be thirds because the parts have to be equal to be thirds. Okay? Awesome job, friends. Today's independent work is to log on to Think Central and complete lesson 11.9, practice and homework assignments. All right, friends, great work today, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.